Brexit is going to bring about chaos. Because I remember when I was young, man, when I was like probably about around 8 years old, there weren't as much people in England. You only had a couple of groups of people. You had the Elamites here, you had a few there and there, West Africans, and then you had Edomites. You had and you also had a lot of Benjamites. That was it. But now everybody, pretty much the whole globe is here. You don't even gotta go travel the globe. You can just go. The globe is right here. Okay. Everybody and their grandmothers are in London, England. So that the elite, the power structure, the government did this intentionally so that the people can vote Brexit and then therefore the country can be in a state of chaos. They did it intentionally, man. Okay? Because if you got so many different people inside of your country, how you gonna find a job? If you're out of work, how you gonna find a job? Because all of the jobs have been taken away. Okay? And another thing too, another thing as well, how you gonna find somewhere else to stay? Because everybody's taking the houses, right? And then guess what? Everything rises up in price. So not only do you have an overly populated area, but also the standard of living is expensive. So Esau, the elite, they purposely done this intentionally to bring about chaos. Okay, because I remember even 5 years ago, man, there was a lot of different nations coming in. They started coming in and everything like that. And now it's gotten to the point where you really can't even go out nowhere. You can jump on the bus and you ain't gonna fit in that bus. Because everybody's here. Right. So Esau did that intentionally so that the people that live here, they're gonna get pissed off and they're gonna result to rioting. Which leads to prophecy anyway. Go on, brother.
Daniel 2 and
finish with that? Okay, go on.
Daniel 2 and 43, and it says, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Right, and that's why you have all of this separation within the EU. Brexit is the main thing, and then you also got Scotland. They looking to separate. They're looking for their independence now. Because of England, England made one move, and now Scotland's making another move. They want to separate. So when you have a society which thrived when they were together, and now they're separating, that's a breaking kingdom. The scripture says, how can Satan be divided against itself, and how can that society stand? It won't stand. So Esau is breaking it down. Okay? And it's all prophecy. The whole idea of the EU breaking up, that alludes back to the book of Daniel's, the 2nd chapter, prophecy. So not only was it done intentionally, but it was also based on prophecy. So this is how we know that this society is not going to stand for so long. A lot of people don't know what the hell is going on. They don't know the past. They don't know history. So if they don't know the past and they don't know history, they're not going to know the future. And they don't know the scriptures. Go on, brother.
So Matthew 12 and 26, if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself.
Exactly. If Satan cast out Satan, they are, divided against themselves. So what does the word Satan mean? The word Satan simply means adversary. It's the house of, or the councils of the Edomites under the Satanists. Okay? So when you have a house which is divided against itself, that house is going to be overthrown, like the scripture says, man.
How shall then his kingdom stand?
Right, how shall then his kingdom stand? And that's why Great Britain is going down to hell, even if they stay in the EU, or whether they pretty much leave the EU with a hard Brexit. The country's fucked anyway. Okay? Because guess what? Because I've actually owned the business in Liverpool, right? And when I notice, man, these levels don't work worth a damn. They don't work, man. All they like to do is talk shit all day and smoke their little cigarettes and try and milk in the time they got, man. That's what they do. And they talk a lot. But they don't do it. And they like to say, well, Jake is lazy and Jake don't like to do no work, but their friggin' asses is lazy. Jake's doing more work than their own asses.
Because even whenever I go work somewhere, most people, I've never even worked with a Edomite. I can't remember the last time I worked with an Edomite, like an actual Edomite.
Yeah.
That's how many little there are.
the laziest people that I work with.
They don't work, man. They don't work. Because I used to hire them, man. They don't work. So let's just say everybody leaves this country because of Brexit. Where's the country gonna fall down to? It's gonna fall down to crap. And this is why Esau brought all of these so-called immigrants in, so they can simply work the economy. Because they're not doing it. You understand? So, but like I said, either way, man, Esau's fucked. This whole society is screwed. Because Esau's, I don't cut you, brother. Because Esau's thinking that if they can get out the Brexit, then life will be better. No, it's gonna be worse. Go on, bro.
Yeah, because that's why they opened the borders and brought in a lot of Benjamites.
Right.
They opened the borders and brought in a lot of Indians.
Yeah, it's a case of
A lot of people from Eastern Europe, Polish, Romanians.
Exactly.
They came in. They are the ones that pretty much cover all the jobs that Edomites. If it was just up to Edomites, you wouldn't get these people from our shops.
Yeah, man.
Those petrol stations, that's why at night time you go to a petrol station, who you gonna find in there?
Elon.
You're gonna find Elam there. You're not gonna find Edomites.
I work in a timber merchant, and most of the builders that come in there are Polish.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them are Polish.
Not Polish.
It's like you can walk down the street and you're looking at an Edomite and you think that Edomite is from here now.
Yeah.
Until they open their mouth, and the majority of the time it's Polish.
Yeah, because the thing with the Eastern Europeans, they get to work. I even hired a few of them, and they do a very good job. So, I mean, come on, man. Like if you have a corporation, you're gonna hire the people that's gonna do the work, and you're not gonna hire those that you know ain't gonna do the work.
And they take less money too.
And they take less money as well. And this is why these devils, I don't cut you, brother. And this is why these devils that are born here, they mad as hell because they're taking all of the jobs, but they ain't fucking working, man. And these are the same motherfuckers that will say, "Oh, you niggas don't work, you Jakes don't work," but they ain't fucking working, man. Okay.
That's how we know that a lot of those people coming from those countries,
Right.
Eastern Europe. That's how we know. Well, I believe a lot of them are Jakes.
I believe the same thing too. Yeah.
Because they got a different spirit to these crackers here in England.
Yeah.
They know what it's like to work, they know what it's like to suffer, and they know what it's like to put in a graft.
Yeah.
Just like Benjamin.
Exactly, man. And that's just the truth, because everywhere around the world, they're about grafting, they're about hustling. Easter don't got that kind of spirit. The real Edomites, they don't have that hustling kind of spirit. They just work when they want to work, and they do what they want to do. Go on, bro.
So like when you go out to like these department stores like Wickes, B&Q and stuff, you have like so-called Eastern Europeans standing outside from like 5 a.m. in the morning. And when you drive in to like buy what you want to buy, they're stopping you saying, "You want any work in your house? We'll do it for cheap." And when you do hire them, they work from like 8 a.m. till like 7 p.m. straight. Because they got that spirit on them to make that money. But Esau, he ain't gonna do that.
It's like the Issacharites, man. The Issacharites, they stand outside, like you said, the equivalent to an American B&Q, and they just stand there and wait for work.
Yeah, man.
They labourers.
Those devils want to call them lazy Mexicans, man.
And on a bigger note, when you have, like for example, if there is more jobs and less people to do those jobs, that means companies offer more money to attract people to come and work for those jobs. But when you bring in a lot more people, and then the people looking for the jobs become more than the jobs themselves, that means they can cut off the benefits and reduce your pay, because now it's a lot more of you wanting that one particular position than the other way around, man. Otherwise before, man, like certain jobs like bus driver, train drivers, you get like crazy contracts, man. You know, you're getting crazy payments. You can buy your house. Now what they're doing now, but now as soon as you put on an advertisement, I remember in Glasgow, they were looking for 100 train drivers. Before they would have to, they'll offer a crazy contract with pension, holiday pay, overtime. When you do overtime, you get double and all those things. But they put up an advertisement for 100 train drivers, and they got 10,000 applications.
So that's what 9,900 people out of work, right there.
Well, it didn't have to. It was people that had jobs. People that had jobs already that were trying to get into the jobs.
It's good money on the trains.
But the point was, now they don't have to offer those crazy contracts. Now they can pay you less. Now they can just simply, because I used to be a bus driver, and if you did your,
I remember, brother. I remember.
if you work overtime and you get like a time and a half sort of pay, but now they took that off, man. If you work overtime, you just get your basic wage. But they say that you need the overtime more than we need you, man.
This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. So it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because there are few.
Right, and the keepers of the house are those that are in charge of the state of the economy. Go on.
And those that look out of the windows be darkened.
Right, and we're seeing that right now. There's no future in America, there's no future in Britain, there's no future in this society. It's very clear, it's very well clear, but it's clear to us because we know exactly what's going on. The Most High opened our minds to actually see what the hell is going on and what the prophecies are saying according to these days that we're living in right now. People will say, well, the Bible is an age-old book. It doesn't apply to now. It does apply to now. Because everything that's happening right now, the Bible already forspoke about it. All right? And we're bringing you out these prophecies to show and declare that this is what the prophets said thousands of years ago, and now it's happening right now. So there's no future in Britain. There's no future in America. It's just things are gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse, and the school systems, they're gonna go according to the elite and their agenda and corrupting these kids. That's what the government wants to do. They want to intentionally corrupt everything in sight. That's just the bottom line. Now go on, bro.
This goes back to what the Elder Muhammad was saying earlier about how they know of iniquity because they know what righteousness is.
Right.
So that's why.
The water.
So that's why the world now views the scriptures as not fitting in with today's society because they've changed their views in today's society.
Yep.
So it's all wickedness and it goes against what the scriptures say.
Yeah. And that's the agenda, because if you can take away the scriptures, then there's no other way of looking at life. There's no right way of looking at life. The only way you're gonna look at life is in their way. And that's what Esau wants to do. He wants to set himself like he is the Most High. And that his view is the only view. There's no other views. Okay? Matter of fact, brother, somebody get me what is it, man? I think it's 2 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, where it talks about how he exalted himself with the Most High.
Second chapter.
Huh? I'm going.
So verse 4. So Ecclesiastes 12 and 4, so it says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, and the sound of the grinding is low.
Right, and the sounding of the grinding is low. Okay? So what does that mean, the sounding of the grinding is low? Meaning there's not going to be no work on these streets anymore.
Grinding is the work.
So grinding is meaning, like the brother said, it means to work. Okay, so when you have less jobs, and the thing about it is people are working and they're not getting paid the money that they're satisfied with. So people are not going to really want to work. But if you pay people what they want, what they think they should get enough, then they're gonna want to work more. Okay, but everything is going to lead to this society coming to a standstill.
Right.
That's the end result. All right. Now, what is his name, man? What's the guy's name, man? Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson, as everybody should know, he's not going to change the world. No prime minister is going to change anything. Even the president's not going to change anything. Like I said, the word prime minister simply means the first servant. The word prime means to be first, and the word minister, which means to be servant. So the prime minister is nothing but a higher level servant, which is a part of the government structure. So if you go above the government structure, what do you have? You have the king, or you have the pharaoh. All right, and the pharaoh gives the orders to the government, and then the government lays down the order to the people. All right. So when you have a corrupt king, what do you have? You have corrupt governments, and then the people become corrupt. Simply put. Go on, brother.
And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
And that's what we living in that time. You listen to the music today, the music is shit. You can't listen to the music today. That's right. The only music you can listen to is the music that goes back probably from the 70s, the 60s, or even some music from the 90s. But if you listen to today's music, it's shit. Okay, they're not saying anything. You don't really understand where they're coming from. They're not breaking no kind of knowledge down to teach the people that's listening to the music. All they're speaking about is nonsense. Okay, even if it's what is it? So-called hip hop music, so-called hard rock music, or whatever music that they're pushing out today. It's all nonsense, man. And even the music, the beat is demonic as all hell. To get you to what is it, man? To get a demon to enter your mind and that demon to possess your mind. Right?
I want to say this. One of the reasons why, because when I was in the world I used to make music, one of the reasons other than obviously doing this work, why I stopped making music is because, you know, the stuff I saw that was getting big, was kind of like, why am I putting so much, I was thinking, why am I putting so much effort in trying to make some good music when these guys are just making garbage and getting #1 hits?
Yeah.
So I just thought, fuck it, there's no point.
There's no point. And the thing with the music is destroying the minds of the people. So when you're making this music today, you're just pretty much involved in what you're involved in the agenda of the elite to destroy people's minds. All right. Anyway, I'm done talking. Let this brother read the shit.
Just to say,
You finish?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
you can't kick knowledge anymore, man. Because the listeners of today's hip hop and that, they don't want to even hear it.
Right.
It's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed."
Right, and that man of sin be revealed. So there's going to come a falling away first, and then that man of sin be revealed. Look at that word fall away, brother, if you can. Look up the shot. So any of you brothers want to say something? You can say something.
We were talking about that earlier on when I was driving. There's a lot of people in today's society, they have no idea what's going on. Right? Part of this job is to warn our people of what's coming. Because the so-called white man don't need you niggas no more. He's got Eastern Europeans, you know, he's got other different races.
Technology as well.
Technology, robots, androids, and that goes down to his miracles spoken about in Revelations. His miracles and his technology. Alright, so the next thing is to try and get rid of us, man. That's basically it. That's the end game for them. You know?
Right, so this is the Strong's G645, and it's apostasia, and it means a falling away, a defection. So like if you was, let's just say you was a government agent and you decided to go and work for, I don't know, America or Russia or China, you'd be defecting, man. You'd be, basically, it's to turn your back.
Yeah.
So one more thing, it says to forsake.
Forsake, right?
Forsake.
Yeah, so the truth pretty much forsake itself, right? So that had to happen. We fell away from the wisdom of the Son of the Heavenly Father and knowing who we are according to that. And then so that Esau can then be found out. Esau can then be searched out. And we know who the Edomites are. The Edomites are the pure-blooded so-called Europeans today. The ones that's sitting up in power right now. All right, the ones that's driving these nice cars, the ones that's sitting pretty of the slave money that they got from our ancestors. They're the Edomites. The same ones that are saying that you gotta forget slavery. They're the Edomites. So they're gonna be found out. Go on.
Yeah, so it says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Yep.
It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God,
Yep.
all that is worshipped, so that he is God,
As God.
is as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
And that's what the New World Order system is all about. That's why Esau is saying, look, we're not dealing with the Bible anymore. We're going to do away with the Bible in totality so that our views can only but be seen as the gospel truth. So if you have people that are only seeing one view of things and you have your own ideology and your own understanding, then guess what? You're you're a potential enemy combatant. That's how Esau's gonna set this thing up. And if you don't see what he's seeing, you gotta be exiled of the earth. So Esau has what you call a God complex. Go on.
It's Sirach 10 and 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Right, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Go on.
Verse 2. As the judge of the people is as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
Right, so are his officers. Like for example, when you look at how ancient Egypt was structured, you had the pharaoh, you had the government, and then you had the priests, you had the holy man, and then you had all of the different levels of servants on down. So if the pharaoh had a certain mentality or spirit, the government will follow that same spirit. And the same thing applies right now. The reason why you have corrupt governments is because the powers that be, the elite, which control government, which control your prime ministers, they're corrupted themselves, therefore corrupting the masses of the people. All right? And this is why they want to corrupt your children. So the whole earth is under the influence of corruption. Esau is the exemplifier of corruption. All right? And nothing's going to change. I don't care how much you protest. I mean, you could protest until 5 years straight. All right? Till the cows come home. Till you turn blue in the face. Ain't nothing going to change until Esau comes out of power, man. All right? True change is going to come when we rise up to the scene into the power seat. All right? Starting with the Messiah, Yahushua. When the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, conquered this man down, and he sits on the throne, and we sit on the throne, now we talking real change. That's right. Okay? Right. But until then, we ain't going to see no change, man. Anyway, let's read on.
And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all that dwell therein.
Right, exactly, and such is all they that dwell therein, the people. So the people are going to be a reflection unto their government, or the main power at hand, which controls the government. So this is why when we're out here, brothers, and we're teaching the word and we're doing the work, people don't see what we're seeing. Why? Because they're under the influence of the Rothschild dynasty. They're under their influence. Okay, and there's certain things that the powers that be believe, and they believe in Aleister Crowley and his doctrine. What does Aleister Crowley preach about? One of the main quotes that we know. Do as thou wilt. Do as thou wilt. What is the Nike sign? Just do it. So let's say you have an evil, wicked thought in your mind. Because you saw the sign, just do it, you just gonna just do it. So this society is under this do as thou wilt spirit. I can do whatever the hell I want to do, and can't nobody tell me anything. Okay? And if you try to tell somebody what to do, you in the wrong. That's the world we live in today. Therefore perpetuating that corruption, because Esau knows that we're naturally corrupt anyway. Going back to the scriptures. Because we're in the flesh. So Esau's pushing this, he's provoking mankind to be corrupt. So he can prolong his rule and ultimately get the birthright, man. But that's not gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen, because what's written is what's going to come to pass. And what's written is that every little thing that the Heavenly Father set up that's happening right now is gonna continue to happen until this guy's been taken out of the friggin' way, man. That's what's gonna happen. Anyway, brother, you what you got.
So like you got a lot of people that they like to say, oh yeah, power to the people. People power, there's power in numbers, that kind of bullshit. But the law doesn't work like that. Like I said here, that is whatever the elites go, whatever the elites say, that's what goes.
Yep.
The law doesn't work like that. The law gives power to the elites of the city, not the people.
Yep. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
But that's that.
You're going, brother.
That's that illusion of free will.
Yeah.
Making people like setting the system up to where the people actually think their vote, their say, their protest has an impact.
Yes.
But really, it's just wasting their time, as the elder was saying earlier.
Yep.
Because the decision is already set. You know, the judgment's already cast. What will happen is what will happen.
Exactly. And I want to elaborate on what you were saying about power to the people. There's no power to the majority. The true power is by the 1%. Because every single trend that they set, the masses follow that trend. All right? They follow that trend regardless of what. So who really has the true power? Is it the people or is it the elite? The elite have the true power. Because they cast the trends to the masses of the people, which they like to call peasants. and the peasants follow that trend. That's the reality. All right, and you know what proves what I'm saying? Because people have been protesting for years about what they wanted for years, and they didn't get it. Hell, look at Jake in America. Look at the blacks in America, right? The Judites in America. They've been protesting for peace and equal rights and justice, right? All around. Did they get it? No.
No.
The 48 acres of commune.
They didn't get that. They didn't get no 40 acres. And the reason why they're not going to get it because America is in astronomical debt. So they are never going to get no 40 acres in the meat. And they're not going to get reparations.
Plus,
Go on,
the
bro.
scripture says they make no account of their labor, so you was never going to get it anyway.
You're not going to get it. You're not going to get no reparations. Exactly. So the point of the matter is what counts is what the powers that be say counts. All right. The whole Westminster crew, whatever they got to say is what counts. What they call peasants don't count. So all of this protesting is just a waste of time. It's a bunch of nonsense. And if you really look at the protesting, how these people protest, you can't take the people seriously. They put painting on their face, look like a bunch of clowns. I mean, come on, man. How you gonna expect the government to take you seriously if you painting your face looking like a goddamn clown?
And the only way to change it is by way of violence. But that's the only way you can really change that.
Right, but the people are pansies. They're not gonna go fight the government. The people are weak because they know if they fight the government, which they're gonna wind up doing it anyway. If they fight the government, guess what? The government's gonna fight against them back with real weapons of war. All right, that Esau got back in store.
Because even when Moses went to the Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go," even then he didn't take him seriously.
Exactly.
That was a man of the book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how much more the people that don't know a damn thing? Come on, dog. Come on, man. Go on, bro. Stop.
It's Isaiah chapter 60, verse 2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
Right, and that's the whole thing, man. And it's going to be like that when the kingdom is set up. When the kingdom is set up, is it going to be power to the people? No, it's going to be power to the elect. Because the elect, they're going to be setting the trends.
Right.
Every kingdom was set up like that, man. If you look, check out every empire. You had the what is it? Probably the 4 or the 3 or the 1% that governed probably the 97, 98 or 99%. That was always the case. So it's the same thing. The society that we're under right now, it's the same as it was back then. But what the elites did, what the government did, which I believe the media is a part of government, right? Because the word government means to control the mind. So the media is a very a strong tool to control the minds of the people, which is a part of government. All right. So what did the media put out there to the people? You got equal rights. Oh, we're a democracy. We're a democratized society, which the people rule. The word demo means people, and the word perceive means to rule. We don't live in a society like that. We live in what you call a plutocratic society, a plutocracy. That's the real society that we live in. The rulership of the rich. Okay, whatever trend they got going, whatever trend they got written down, that's what they're gonna cast out to the people, and the people will have to follow that trend. All right, so all of this protesting, all of this nonsense, and getting on YouTube trying to expose the government, that's all good, that's all right, because we learn from that too.
Yeah.
But it's not going to change anything. But see, what we're bringing out to the table, what we're doing is not a waste of time, because the Most High told us to come out here to what is it, man? Somebody give me Jeremiah 28 verse 8. All right, go ahead.
This is Sirach chapter 3 and verse 24. It says, no, it's lucky, that's the wrong one.
Yep.
This is 1 Corinthians 1 and 27. It says, but how I have chosen the foolish things to confound the wise,
Right.
and how I have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
Exactly. So the Most High works the opposite of what the people think. So going back to my point, the point of the reason as to why we're out here, because one may say, well, you guys are out here and y'all wasting our times. But guess what? No, we're not wasting our times. We're here on a mission, pretty much telling you devils and telling this empire as a whole that this society is going to be destroyed by way of nuclear destruction and also pestilence. So we're prophesying about current events that's going to take place that can't no one alter. All right, go on, bro.
That's the spirit, because today, Saturday, is the first time in 40 years that they're holding session in Westminster.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to work out a way to negotiate Brexit deals. But this, the scripture says that the deceived and the deceiver are his. So all of this meetings and it's such a big event because the first time it's happened in 40 years and we're trying to come to an agreement with the EU. It's not really going to work out at the end of the day because the deceived and the deceiver are his, man. It's all the working of the Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
That's what it's all about.
Because they're trying to avoid these prophecies, man. They're trying to sit in there day after day, week after week to work a way around the kingdoms from breaking up in Daniel. It talks about the last kingdom, the 10 toes, you know, partly weak, partly strong. They're trying to work a way around that to still end up on top, you know. But the Lord said He's going to rise in disappointment. So it's all a waste of time.
Say what you gotta say, bro. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, they never hold parliament on the Saturday.
I didn't know.
So them niggas are working weekends now, right?
Serious.
Thanks for overtime now to save that kingdom, right?
Yeah.
I'll go precept real quick. It's our Psalms, the 2nd chapter and 1, and it says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Exactly, man. And it's just that. It's a vain thing. Look up the word vain. I know what it means, but you gonna look it up anyway. Somebody look up that word vain. Yeah, read that, brother.
So Jeremiah 28 and 8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Exactly. So Yahweh told us to do this. So this is not a waste of time because we're on the mission. Now, if he were to do something outside of the will of the Lord, then it'd be a waste of time. That's
right.
Like protesting, putting up these stupid placards up, putting painting on your face. That's not the will of the Lord.
Israelite music videos.
Right, Israelite music videos.
Yeah, rapping and protesting.
Okay, dancing around the place like a bunch of clowns and jackasses. That's not the will of the Lord. The will of the Lord is what we're doing here. So therefore, we are not wasting our time, and therefore, this is of substance what we're bringing out. Go on, bro.
When the people see
I
us,
think what? Let him finish this. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Ezekiel 33 and 6. But if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned,
Right.
if the sword come and take away any person from among them,
Right.
he is taken away in his iniquity.
Exactly.
But his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
Beautiful precept. So that's exactly what we are. We're the watchmen of the house of Israel. That's why we put these videos up, which this ain't gonna last too long because they're gonna pretty much clamp down on brothers' accounts, and therefore it's going to get to the point of the famine of the world. So what we're doing is of the command of the Heavenly Father. We're not just coming out here based on our own will because we want to come out here and it's a Saturday. No, we're doing this because the Lord told us to come out here and do this.
that's right.
All right. So that's how you know that what we're doing is of substance.
That's right.
Okay, and it means something. It's value to what we do. Go on, bro.
Definition of
It's a
vain.
cause.
It's emptiness, vanity, empty and idle. It also says a worthless thing,
The worthless thing. That's all I want.
no purpose.
Right, no purpose. No purpose.
That's why them people that spend all this money on clothes, they're called vain.
Yep.
Because most of the time these people ain't got no fucking personality, no
Exactly.
charisma, no nothing. All they've got to offer is their outside, the flesh.
Yep. Exactly. Because the clothes is what makes them look the part. But if they had the personality, they wouldn't have to worry about the clothes. And it just goes to show you that the personality or the spirit of a person is much more greater than what he looks like.
Yeah, because there's a saying in this society. They say clothes don't make the man.
Right. But man make the clothes. Alright? So that's just the whole thing. But going back to the point of the matter, what was I saying, man? I forgot what I said. Oh, man. Right. Because you mentioned the word vain, which means worthlessness, no purpose,
Empty.
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 So it's empty and worthlessness to go out and protest and ask the government for what you want as a large amount of people. It's empty because there's no purpose behind it. There's nothing that's going to change